down to the truth. Chopping it up with L, chopping it up. We gon' get down to the truth. Chopping it up with L, the beat.
All right. Sister, you there? Lala,
Hey,
there you are. At
hold
least
on a
at least your
second.
voice is here.
Yeah. My bad. I had gotten a text message. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Hold on a second. Hello.
Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
I'm good. No one will call me unless I'm on a Zoom or doing something that's important.
Well, let me tell you what happened right before. Like I fell down the stairs right now.
Oh God. Are you
I was
okay?
like, yeah, I was running down to get a drink, and then I went to make a turn to go back up, and I just slipped all the way down.
Wait. You didn't even have a drink yet. What's going on?
Yeah, that was the problem. I was happy to have one.
You was too sober for this shit.
Yeah. So this is the back together again.
Right? It's been so
And it's a family reunion. And second time around. All the young guys are like, what is he talking about? So let me get, because we're gonna have fun to get into this because we're family, so it's gonna be fun.
Right.
But let me get into a little bit of introduction because I got to introduce you to the world. She is the founder of Bronx Bound Books, a bookstore on wheels and community hub that aims to leave no community behind, a pillar of the arts community, workshop leader, and I affectionately and fittingly call her madrina of the Boogie Down Arts, Latanya DeVaughn. Yay.
Hey, that is a very large title. But thank you.
I called you that since we had full circle.
Mhm.
Yeah, I really feel that way. But let's get into it because I know more people know you more than they know me. But for those who want to get to know more of you, because I don't know if you've watched my interviews, but it's more of a family talking, getting to know you better than just interviewing you on regular stuff. So let's get it popping. So growing up, was there anyone in your family that inspired you or in whose footsteps you feel you walked in?
So it's a combination. Like my aunt, she would pick me up on the weekends because I was adopted. So and I was raised by my grandmother. But my aunt would pick me up on the weekends and she would take me to like the Strand bookstore.
Mm-hmm.
And she taught me what code switching was, but I didn't know what it was because like strangers would ask her for direction on the street and she would speak differently. And I remember one time I was like, but Titi, why are you talking to that man like that? And she's like what? I said, but you don't talk to me that way. So for the whole entire day, she was talking to me like, like she was talking to that man. It was so funny.
I was just talking to a guy last week about code switching because I don't think I know I do it. I know when I go to my neighborhood, I sound different, right, than when I'm at work. Right. But I don't do it on purpose. It's just it comes out naturally, but it's real.
And my daughter, if she like comes in and I'm on the phone, she's like, oh, that's your professional voice. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, that was your worky voice. I'm like, what was that? What are you talking about? So I guess she's doing, she hears it too, but it's just being who I am.
Well, I feel like we can't just walk into a business and be like, yo, son, I want to make an application.
Nah, some people do. Some people do. I've heard a lot of, I've seen a lot. I work in HR, so I've seen some people come in there.
And that's a Latino thing, make an application. It's like throw a picture.
Right.
Let me throw a picture. So outside of the family, who would you say, if anyone, is an inspiration to you?
Outside of family, you know, combination of like uh seeing people do amazing things and knowing that I can do them too. So I believe if you can see it, you can be it. So I didn't know that someone that like me could own a bookstore. I thought like people, these invisible people behind like Borders from back in the day, remember? Barnes and Noble, and you know, these people that we don't see, these were the only people who can own bookstores. So Miss Harris from Books in the Hood, she was able to show me what was possible. So, you know, things like that, seeing people do amazing things. My grandmother was a teacher, so I knew I could become a teacher, you know. I know a lot of friends who are educators and work in the school systems. So it's a combination of environment and what people are doing.
And that's how we see you. You're very humble, but that's how we see you. We're like, oh man, I wish I could follow my dreams like that. Let me ask you, so Bronx Bound Books, that's an incredible achievement, but it's not your first rodeo, right?
No.
I remember watching a feature that Kat was doing in the Brownstone. And that was when Chance told me, because you're so humble, you don't talk about this. He told me about Urban Voices Heard. Was that the first endeavor you did?
Yeah, Urban Voices Heard. My crazy ass decided to do my first ever open mic on December 30th, 2008. That was like right after Christmas, right before New Year's Eve. People were like, "You're crazy. You don't even have Facebook. Who's going to show up?" I was like, I'm going to put this on Craigslist.
Yeah.
And if people were on Craigslist, people came out from Craigslist. I'm sorry. But it took me like a year before I got Facebook. But it was an open mic. I did it in Manhattan, 38 West 38th Street at the Spoon Theater. And my other aunt, she made sandwiches. We got little sodas and water. We didn't know how to work the sound system because we didn't know El at the time. We didn't know how to work the lights in the big, like a black box theater. But we made it work, a cappella, poetry. So, you know.
I saw, and Chance showed me a picture of the audience. It was packed. And by the way, all the Gen Zs are like, what's who's Craig and what is that list all about?
What list is that?
When did you first know you wanted to do this work?
I went to my very first open mic and I didn't like the experience. So I was like, you know what? I think I could fill in a void. These people are doing something that's pretty awesome, but I think I could put my own twist on it.
Yes.
And then I started doing it in Manhattan. It was very successful. And then back to Books in the Hood. I was walking through my neighborhood and I saw that the bookstore was there. And I'm like, Miss Harris, did you know this bookstore was here? And she was like, yes, it's my bookstore, because she taught my son.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I'm going to bring my open mic to the Bronx. People are like, you crazy? Nobody's going to come to the Bronx for no open mic. You should just keep it in Manhattan. I'm like, well, the 2 and the 5 train is right there. It's just a few more stops. People will come out, and people came out to support every month.
Yeah, when you think of the Bronx, well, as a poet, a community poet, you think of Chance, you think of Advocate of Words, you think of Babel in the Bronx. And then you think of you, and big ups to all those people, but you were the one that lasted. And George Acevedo told me once, he was like, you know why your work survives? Because you always change, you always stay with the times, and you always try something new. You always do something better. I'm messing up his words. I actually wrote it down somewhere because I love that when he said that. And that's what you did. Yeah. So there's times like when full circle, when you kind of went away from that, it wasn't like you were giving up or anything, but you just changed course, right? And because you did well with it. And like Seinfeld said, we want to end with a bang, right?
Right.
Seinfeld.
Right. It's true.
And you kind of did that, and it just continued and evolved into your new works.
So each shift was filling a different void. So the open mic, right? People were like, oh my gosh, I want to perform, but I don't have anything written. oh, I don't know how to write a poem. I was like, oh, let me do workshops. I was already doing workshops at in schools. So I got not tired of that, but the administration in a lot of the schools didn't let me do what I wanted to do with the students. Like even simply like doing a performance at the end. They were like, well, the lunchroom, we can't use the lunchroom, we can't use this. And I'm like, so what are we supposed to do? They've been working on hard, all semester. They got to showcase it. So me and the dance teacher, we put our classes together, no permission. And his class was bigger than mine. And we put them together and they performed, they danced, they freestyled, they did what they've been working on the whole semester because they shut him down too. So I got tired of just like not being able to execute in the way that I saw fit. So then I took a break. And then I joined the writing workshop because I wanted to be on the receiving end because, no one really tells you when you're like a teaching artist,
right, that
you're pouring into people and you're listening to stories and you're editing and there's some self-care that you need as an artist yourself that you sometimes neglect when you're teaching. So I was spent. I was like depleted. And I was like, you know what, let me join this writing workshop. So I joined this writing workshop and it was cool, but they forgot to invite me back to the second portion. I was like, community, these are my people, whatever. And then I emailed the organizer. She was like, all the seats are filled and we didn't send you an email. I was like, what? All right. I want a writing workshop. I'm sure other people want a writing workshop. Then I started the writing workshop.
And it was beautiful. I had the pleasure of being a part of the Full Circle workshop that you curated along with Vanessa Chica. I don't want to count her. I mean, it was so beautiful. We called it church. And aside from the stress and hard work that an endeavor like that takes, tell me how that experience was for you, those Sunday church workshops.
In the very beginning, it was amazing. It was great. I felt like I was a resource, and I felt like I had a purpose, showing up for people that are showing up for themselves. I worked at a fencing school at the time. We used the fencing school to write in. Then we went to El Fogón. Then we were writing at the urban juke joint some days. And even with the shifts, it's like, oh my gosh, there's a class. We can't do the fencing studio this week. And then urban juke joint was open for us. And then Lloyd was like, all right, you guys can come here. So we, and everyone still showed up no matter where we were. No matter where we were.
I didn't know you had.
Yeah.
And
we worked for a little while, not a long time, but people showed up. It was like last minute kind of things. And, I felt like I was serving a purpose, but that's, towards the end, the whole.
But it was
craziness.
It was on Sundays. And that was our church. That was our church. And we went there and spilled our guts and cried and laughed. And that's, it was in the winter, it's freezing there. In the summer, it's stupid hot. But we sat there and enjoyed ourselves. I said that I affectionately call you Madrina of the Bronx Arts. And I call you that because while you humbly never talk about it, you and your work have sparked the poetic past of so many artists, including me. I remember I was on a long break from poetry until Kat brought it back into me. Like she got me to want to do it again because of my anxiety. I was just like, I can't take another anxiety attack. I'm not doing this. But she got me back in, and then she convinced me to go to your workshops. And it was the best decision that I ever made, or agreed to, I should say, because I didn't make that decision really on my own. I would say at that time, I was saying I don't like workshops, but it was years later that I admitted to everybody about my anxiety. So it was really, I was afraid of workshops because the fear of being in a crowd that close, my heart would be like, and I would like have to run to the bathroom and sit on the floor or something, So, but she got me to do it. So how do you feel when you see all the people that you gave a home to believe in themselves and evolve into great artists that they are now?
Um, it's, you know,
You're gonna be
it's,
humble, I know it, but you did
I
spark
mean,
that.
it's pretty cool to see, you know, where they come from, you know, where they started, to see, you
Mhm.
know, how far they've come and where they're going and things like that. So that's pretty cool, you
You
know.
gotta feel good. You're so humble. But I'm gonna tell you one, you're humble, but this is, I keep telling everybody that I do these interviews with. You gotta do exactly what you did right now. You got your bus in the back, you got your t-shirt on.
Like,
I tell them,
always
yo,
present.
can you put your book up behind you or something? So you also created a space so inviting that the participants became a family. We still, to this day, everybody that was in those workshops, right? To this day, we still see each other. We still celebrate together. We support each other, and we love each other. And I wonder, is that a bond when you was first thought of doing this that you intended or wanted to create, or was it just an organic thing that happened?
I think it's organic. Um, I still do workshops now. Um, Not independently, it's through like
Mhm.
other organizations. I no longer have to like organize and
Yeah,
rally people to show
that's
up and things
nice.
like that. So I just show up and do the workshops.
Uh-huh.
But I hear that a lot. I hear that my workshops, they feel like it was meant for them,
Mhm.
regardless of the topic or anything like that. Um yeah, I just finished a 4-week workshop with BCA, and
Mhm.
the reviews were amazing. I'm like, oh, talking
Nice,
about
of
me,
course.
you know.
Yeah, I
So it's
believe
pretty
it,
cool.
it was divine intervention. I know if you're not spiritual, call it whatever you want, but
Right.
there was something about everybody that was brought together in those workshops that they gravitated together through their heart, not just through the talents or the drive or the need to write or commune. It was something
Right.
there that we all like really got close, so close that to this day we call each other family, and
Mhm.
and and, and there's an aura about you that that attracts all that, I think. Whatever you want to call it. Like I said, not to offend anybody who's not spiritual, but you know, there's something about you, something about the that time that we all got together and did this that was special. When you did your first Bronx Brown, when did Bronx Brown books first become a goal for you? Like you were doing so many things. When did you say like how did it come to life?
So I've always wanted to own a bookstore. Everyone who knew me closely knew that a bookstore was always something that I talked about. So it was a mixture of Vanessa Chica, another friend of mine. I was about to quit a job because I'm always about to quit a job. I'm always about to start a job or quit a job.
Mm-hmm.
And my other friend, she was like, "Latanya, the next job you get, it better be your bookstore." So then I'm telling Vanessa, like, "Oh, Vanessa, this person said, whatever she said." And she's like, I was like, "Well, I'm gonna do a pop-up style." I was like, "Damn, books are heavy." And then Vanessa showed me a picture of a book truck. And that's
Ah.
where the inspiration, turned into what's behind me.
Yes, look at that. You got a muse. She's
Yeah.
amazing. Did you
See it, be
expect
it.
did you expect the level of love and support you got to make this happen? Because people
Nope.
came and they came and helped you out with the sorting, with the collecting, with the painting, with funding, everything.
No, I did not expect it. I thought I was just going to do this bookstore on wheels. I didn't expect for Kat to call me from Chicago, like, "Why are you on NPR, my radio? I'm going home from work." None of this was
Yes, yes.
planned. None
You
of
know,
none of the what came with it planned. The plan was to create a mobile bookstore, and
I
then
re-
everything was.
I was talking to Tamara when she was helping you out at Fogon,
Mm-hmm.
and that's something that a company would like hire a temp worker to do, and they would be mad. I gotta do this job, and she was so happy to do it. She like that's just what I'm talking
Left
about with you.
tomorrow.
like these people, everyone who helped you was so I want you to know if me and Kat were down there, we'd be totally
No.
in all your business, doing everything with you, helping you out in whatever way we can. And yeah, so you had people that were not there for any opportunist reasons or money. They were there to give you love and support. And that's gotta feel really good because that's something that you emanated. You know what I mean? And now if you were given $1 million right now, what would you do with it?
I would open up a brick and mortar to accompany the bookstore on wheels.
Hey.
And part of the business model when I do with the bus is people like Montefiore Hospital and schools, they can rent the bus and the books are free. So the brick and mortar would be similar, where like from 8 to 4 o'clock, a school could rent it and the kids can come and take books like they're shopping at a regular bookstore. And then from 5 to 8 or 5 to 9, it would go back to being a regular bookstore.
You already thought about it.
Oh yeah, I already.
You got it. You already had the plan. Like, I got this.
Definitely, that's an easy answer. You gotta come better. Because that's actually in the works.
You ended up building Bronx Bound Books during strict pandemic restrictions. Did that worry you? Yeah, did that worry you about the success of it?
Heck yeah. So 2019, May 5th, 2019, I did a business review and I packed it out. Like it was raining, it was Cinco de Mayo, the wind was crazy, it was raining, and like 120 people came into a venue that fit 75. I was like, sorry, I didn't know all these people were gonna come. I don't know. People were standing outside looking in the rain and things like that. So that was the official launch. I haven't been able to not do it since then. The pandemic happened and I had a bunch of things lined up to like events and collaborations, and then the pandemic happened, just like everyone else. We were just shut down and things like that. So I had to pivot online. I had an idea of doing story times online anyway.
That was nice.
So we did that. Shout out to Yadira, because she was the whole. She was the first one, and she took it on as her own. I was barely involved with it, so shout out to her. That caught on. Like after the first one, like 60 people hit us up on the email to be the next readers.
Yeah.
So that kept the name in people's mouths until things,
that
things
smart.
were better.
Yeah. And our first virtual event was a joint event with Bronx Bound Books. Was when because my book release had to stop. Because of the pandemic. So we did the online thing together. Yeah. And you mentioned Kat. I just want to say something before we continue this interview. She thinks she's slick because I told her to make me a Jack and Coke, and she didn't want me to have a Jack and Coke for the interview. So she made me this. And babe, I know it's weak. Yeah, it's like 90% water. But it's good. I love you, but you ain't slick. So I want you to know that I'm not only super proud of you, in awe of you. I'm amazed by you. I think you are one of the bravest people I know. I wish that I had the drive and confidence to take steps in doing what I love as a career. And watching your journey inspires me. You're welcome. I mean, I'm still, I watch you and I keep saying, yeah, can I do that? I still have not ventured into what I want to do with my arts. But what gave you the courage to take the leaps of faith to do what you love?
So I'm about to get spiritual a little bit.
Okay.
So there's a pull, right? There's a gravitational pull that pulled me towards my dream. And when I wasn't doing the dream, it was like a boulder sitting on my chest. So every day I would have to wake up and go the opposite direction with that weight. Sounds crazy, but it's
Yeah,
my journey.
I
But
believe.
once I started to pivot towards the direction of my dream, waking up got lighter.
Mm.
Moving towards it, it was like a magnet. So yeah, that's the only way I could. And then like
Because
knowing
you
that the
believe you'll
dream,
leave a job, like you said, and like and
oh
know
yeah,
that something better's coming.
yeah,
That always
yeah.
amazed me. Always, I'm scared to leave jobs. I'm like, what's gonna happen? You know?
I'm a mom, you know, those things. But I think my happiness brings my family and my children more value than the money that I was gaining at a job that doesn't make me happy. Um,
Nice.
and also the mission is bigger than my fear, it's bigger than me, it's bigger than you know, any ego or any doubts. I had people say, well, I thought this was just gonna be something that you started, but it never got off the ground. Like, I'm really surprised. Like
Mm.
I didn't, like, to my face,
That's kind
you
of
know,
rude, but
but honest and very rude, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
things like that. So just still waking up and knowing that, you know, this is my mission. And it's
Mhm.
really not about me. Honestly, it's about the Bronx and what I can provide to my community.
I love that because you mentioned, when several times when you were during the pandemic and stuff, like I think you said there was only one bookstore in the Bronx and over 70 in Manhattan.
Yep.
And that's crazy. That's insane. It almost feels tactical. I hate to say, but how can we keep this borough underfoot, so that gentrification can occur? Look, you like.
Gentrification is happening. It's
Mhm.
taking the Bronx by the throat, you know. I think not only supporting me, but supporting the other book initiatives that are launching.
Mhm.
There are other people trying to get their bookstore open or off the ground
Mhm.
and things like that. Um, you know,
Have you
so
met
far,
people? Have you met people that say they want to like walk in your footsteps?
not in my footsteps. Everyone, I think that's another thing. Like, everyone has their own version of what they want to contribute to the community.
Right, right.
My goal is to make book ownership affordable and accessible for everyone in the Bronx.
Mhm.
Other people want to bring, authors that, you know, publish books and write books and things like that. These people want, I specialize in used and new books also, as well as new books. Some people don't want used books, so everyone has their own thing. So I think that if you're going to buy books, you know, instead of sending someone to space on a
Mhm.
spaceship, you can help someone launch their own dream by
Ah,
supporting them. So,
Vanessa, when you watch this, that's a T-shirt right there.
I mean, so I'm a mom, other
Mhm.
bookstore owners. I know two that are lawyers that are trying to get their bookstore off the ground. Someone else who works in
Mm.
publishing. Just people that are regular people, just like me and you. So
Yeah.
how dope would that be if you could send me to the moon on a on a rocket ship that no, I'm just joking, but I'm just saying,
With Bronx Brown books on the side, yeah.
you know.
So,
So,
but aside from the cost of a brick and mortar,
mhm.
what inspired you to make it mobile? Because I know there's the
Um,
cost. Like, okay, it's too hard right now because the real estate is too much to do that.
Honestly, I think I could have done it.
Mm,
I think I could have done it. I think I was playing small, but I think that my journey is the way it's supposed to have been. I don't regret it.
right.
It helped me stand out from the others.
Yeah, yeah,
It helped people see my mission. I mean,
yeah,
like, someone in New Zealand is rocking a Bronx Bound Books hoodie because
yeah,
she grew up in near the Bronx Zoo, and
yeah.
she didn't find another initiative that she wanted to support that represents her borough where she
Mm-hmm.
was born and raised, like Bronx Bound Books. So it gives people something to wear that they're proud of.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, I think I did it the way I needed to do it.
I'll tell you, I grew up first on Third Avenue in the Bronx. And then when I first met you, I was all psyched because you knew what the 55 bus was, and because I had a poem that I mentioned that, and everyone's always like, where's that 55 bus? but I grew up there, and I remember this van used to come every, like, maybe in the summer, sometime 2 or 3 times in the summer, with a puppet show.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very poor growing up, so we never left the neighborhood. So that's another thing, like the universe had you go mobile, because you can go to different places
I love
where,
to be with
like,
people.
let me tell you, some people can't afford a token. I couldn't afford a token or a bus ride, unless it was going to a hospital or a doctor somewhere, we had to do it. And when that puppet show came, I was so excited, like, yeah, it came here. I could never go to a theater or anything at that time. So
Right.
same thing as with the bookstores. Like, some people can't afford even a book.
Right.
But when they do, I mean, you give them, like you said, you have affordable books too.
I
And
have affordable books, but my favorite is when people like Montefiore,
mhm.
elected officials. I work with the business improvement districts. They'll rent the bus, and like I said, the books are free for the day for that community. They can take as
That's
many books as they
crazy.
want. My goal is to get people to read a book that they love, a book that they think they might like because they saw someone else reading it, and a book that they never would have picked up if they had to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
don't
the 3 main goals.
I don't want to scare you with this question, but I like to ask people this. Now that you're enjoying, look at you, I see you breathing harder. You're enjoying the work that you love right now. Do you ever fear it ending?
Ending, no, because I have so many things that I'm working on
I like
that
that.
I see, an evolution of,
Mm.
of what, I have planned. There's some stuff I can't talk about legally.
Yeah.
Cat knows. I'm also diving into publishing as well. I have 2
Nice.
children's books that I'm working on.
Yeah, yeah,
Like I said, the people that you mentioned before who just want to help, like there's someone who
yeah.
I was like, I want to publish this book and this program I want to enter. They said you need a manuscript and I don't know how to write one. She was like, oh, mine won this award. Here's the manuscript. You can just follow mine. It's just like that. People are
Nice.
really supportive that way.
I didn't see that coming, but it makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you feel uplifted these days?
Being able to wake up and do what I want, and it also serves the community. And it also gives my kids something to be proud of.
You must be doing a lot of interviews that I haven't seen, because you're answering everything and you haven't said once. It's just very good. Do you consider yourself an introvert?
Yes, very much so.
Still?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it anymore, but yeah. But then I am too, but people don't see that when they see me, but I totally am. I'm a turtle for sure. Is there a book, movie, song, or show that positively shaped your life?
Yep, Kat. Positively shaped my life. Not necessarily shape my life, but open my mind up to possibilities. So the 1619 Project wrote about the American history, Black history, in a way that made it digestible. So I'm like, wow,
Yes.
you can say these things that are true, fact-based, and it's not hard to read this.
Uh-huh.
When I was younger, I knew that you can be afraid. Words can make you scared. I tried to read Pet Sematary, and the book scared the shit out of me. I couldn't even look at the cover. So I realized how powerful the written language could be.
Yeah.
And then since I was adopted, right? So I was always wishing for family. So I read V.C. Andrews. I read probably way too many, way too young. And I just read how different things were functioning in those series. So they didn't necessarily shape me, but it kept my mind going.
Well, and speaking of that, would you say would you say your past shaped you more, or would you say your current experiences are shaping you more? Oh, look, you paused. Yes. This is what I want to do, I guess.
There's a duality where, like, I think every day that I'm on this earth, if I look back, I can see how there was a divine energy shifting me in a certain way. Yeah. So the more I understand, by understanding, I have to live more, and I reflect a lot. I can pinpoint every move I made to this point from when I was 16. Yeah. Part of that is because I've written a memoir. Yeah. But
it helps. That silent plug. That's awesome. That's a little like preview.
It helps me also have confidence in my next steps. That's what I meant to say.
I think it's so you're making paths for yourself without overthinking, and that's why I believe it's divine. It's nothing wrong. I mean, I really believe something about you that not only attracts good people, but it attracts support and success for you. So I really believe that's going to happen. I have a thing that blocks support and success, but I'm trying to get out of that, and I'm going to work on it. But you definitely have a divine intervention that's pushing you forward and directing you in the right path.
You know what's crazy? I think that, remember you asked me about like during the pandemic and things like that. There was a farmer's market that started during the pandemic. I still sell books at farmer's markets, right? But I thought I was gonna do this. What's behind me? Yeah. Books for $1. Yeah. That was, I don't know what I was thinking, because knowing what I know now, there is no way for me to get there by doing what I was doing before. So again, it's energy. It's energy. And I also was saying a mantra, not to get all spiritual and hocus pocusy, but anytime someone approached me, I was like, my story never changed. I'm working towards building a bookstore on wheels, or Bronx Bound Books is a mobile bookstore. I'm working to convert a bus into a bookstore. I said that a million times. Yes. A million times. And it never changed. And then, I'm still working on how manifestation works, but I do believe that, it's something that should be explored.
I believe that. I always say thought is creative, and you are the thinker, and all your thoughts manifest into reality, whether they're good or bad. So if you think bad thoughts, that's what you're going to manifest. If you think good thoughts, that's what's going to manifest. Although I don't always, I need to learn to tell myself those things. It's easy to give advice to others, but sometimes I forget to tell myself these things. And but I do believe in that, in thought, creative thought, what you think will manifest. And that's awesome to hear you say that, So name a song that makes you cry and a song that lifts you up.
Anything by Hector Lavoe, because my grandmother loved him. So it could be anything. A song that lifts me up. Currently, right now, anything by Beyonce, because I'm going to her concert. My cousin bought me tickets to her.
Show off.
Yeah, I'm showing off. I'm flexing. But yeah, right now, it changes. My music changes. But the things that do make me emotional, always, like Hector Lavoe, always will make me cry. Yeah. It's the drums. It's just memories. It's everything.
I've been crying a lot to TV because they've been doing Anxiety on Blast. I'm watching Bel Air last night, and they had a guy playing Carlton have an anxiety attack, and I'm sitting there tearing, like, because it reminds me of these moments. I can't tell you how many times I went to open mics and I had to go into the bathroom and cry, like that. The same way he was ripping his shirt off, and I would come and I would take my shirt all, like, people would be like, here comes the shirt, but they didn't understand that I was having anxiety attack. Even Kat once, she saw me at a Bomba event I did at the south of France, and she wasn't there. So she goes, "What's up with your shirt all open?" But it's because I had a crazy anxiety attack in the bathroom. But what's a moment that hurt you that you can now laugh about?
A moment that hurt me that I can now laugh about?
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. I got to come back to that.
I have a million.
Really?
Yeah, because I went through a lot of I didn't have a lot of brand name clothes, so I got bullied a lot, so I had to fight a lot.
Mhm.
And now I wish I could have just laughed at it, you know. I laugh at it now, but
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
And but I do have a million things that I can laugh at now because you know they say if you don't laugh, you cry. So
Right.
what was the riskiest creative and career move you've taken?
Bronx Bound Books.
There you go. And she's like, stupid.
No.
What are you most proud about?
Um, Overcoming social anxiety and finding my voice to be able to
Mm.
communicate something so important.
Oh,
So
thank you.
there are
Because I know
times where
you wanted to say Bronx Bound Books and you said
no,
something
there
different.
no, there were times where I didn't say something and I wish I should have. And then I go
Yeah.
home and think about I would have said it this way or that way or
Oh,
this way,
yes.
you know? So
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a lot of times that my social anxiety or my fear of public speaking kept
Yeah.
me from delivering a message that was very important.
Oh, God. I have a million of those. Yep. I hear you. I totally hear you. Is there an event in your life you would do over if you had the chance?
I love being pregnant. I would have probably given birth to all three of them all over again.
Nice. Really?
Yeah.
Even the labor part?
Yeah. Ironically, any labor and delivery nurse that had me were laughing and joking. One woman, she was like, "All right, I'm off, but I'm gonna stay until you deliver because you're just so pleasant."
I used to say, if I could have a baby, I would. And then I saw how much Cat wasn't paying for the second one, and how she cursed out the people trying to help her. And I was like, maybe I don't want to do that.
No, I wouldn't recommend it for you guys.
I read that it's the equivalent to being crushed by an elephant. The
That's about
pain,
right.
the pain on the spine. And I was like, what?
That's
Nah,
about
I'm
right.
good. Uh,
And there's a baby born every second. Think
yeah,
about
yeah.
that.
Well, man, that's women. Women are the mothers of the universe. You created everything. You were here first, and that's why you're more stronger. God bless you, because I can't do it. What's your dream goal in life?
My dream goal is to just continue to wake up and dream more and live them.
And make
That's
those
it.
dreams come true.
Yeah, yeah,
Creative thought.
definitely.
Would you consider like a fleet of these mobile bookstores?
There's a second bus that someone donated
I
to me
know.
that's being, just being worked on right now. Not a
Yeah,
fleet because no, not a fleet,
that's a
but
lot, but yeah.
more.
But
I have an express version of what we
you've
offer.
gone outside of the Bronx. You know, you've been to other boroughs and
Mm-hmm.
places. So
New
it's not,
Rochelle,
we should
New
make that
Jersey.
clear. It's not just for the Bronx. You wherever that service is needed, that's where you're at.
Yeah, definitely. And
So
any money we make comes right back to the Bronx.
yeah,
So
well, not any. Come on, but you're a bookstore. That's not because I know from when I was when you were first putting this up, people were really confused. I kept thinking you were a library, like
mhm.
they didn't get it at first, but it's still a
Because
bit
traditionally, bookmobiles were libraries. They would come to different communities.
right.
I remember this woman, she followed the bus into a park. She was like, I didn't know what you were, but then she told me, and she was like very emotional.
Mhm.
She said she lived in a place in Jamaica where they couldn't go to the library, so the library would come to
Mm,
them. And she just didn't expect the bus to be a library. I mean, a bookstore. She didn't
wow.
expect to see books. So traditionally, it's hard because once you're launching a new product, something different, people associate it with what they knew. So the New York Public Library used to come to various communities in New York, and other library systems across the world have mobile libraries.
Yeah.
So getting people to understand, like, no, it's a bookstore. You buy these books, even if they're free, someone paid for them.
But still, if just to buy a book in a place that they couldn't, the look on their faces, like how does that feel? Like you might see a mother like with her kid. I saw, I don't know, it was last year. There was a mother with a kid in your shop, and I was like, I wish I could see the look on that mother's face when she realized she can buy a book where you were at.
So kids. So if I love to meet the kids first at their school, and then they'll see me somewhere else, and they'll be like, I thought you were supposed to be at my school. So a lot of our initial meetings are at schools, and then I get invited to other communities. And sometimes these kids live in the community, so they already know what to do. Once they see me, they're like, oh, come on, mom, come on, dad. And they're like, where are we going? Yes. And before, the bus was white, so it's like extra, what the hell is going on? So now they get it.
Nice. What advice would you give to people who have similar dreams, goals like you had with Bronx Bound Books?
So I feel like I wasted a lot of time not doing it. So I believe that the first step is the hardest. It sounds cliche. It sounds like, oh my gosh, some self-help book. But the first step is the hardest. And then, your next steps after will come naturally.
Yeah.
That's just my journey. I don't know how it works for everyone else, but to me,
you're right. Because that first step is the same for everybody. And that first step is just taking the first step, no matter what it is. But investing something of your time, maybe your money, but just doing something towards that goal. That question was for me, really, because like I want to start my art business, and it's like I'm scared, and I'm like, man, I want to do art on clothing so bad, but I'm fearful. And that's why I say when I watch you, I'm amazed and in awe, and your courage and to take these leaps of faith. It's everything to me, and I wish I could do that. But I mean, I'm blessed. Don't get me wrong. I love my life. But I would love to take that leap of faith and do my art. And I love that you did it.
So I would suggest also finding a business accelerator. I was part of one. My journey was already started when I approached it. And it was free to join. It was right before the pandemic too. And I made some really great connections there. I didn't pitch to win the $10,000 at the end. But I did present Bronx Bound Books to the audience that was there, and going there every week for 3 hours to dedicate my time and my energy towards nothing but my business was very helpful. And I'm still friends with 2 people that were in my cohort, and then the winner of the $10,000 from the cohort before mine. Right. So we know each other's businesses in and out. We hold each other accountable. If I say I'm going to do something, a week later, someone's going to be like, hey, you said you were going to do that thing. Hey. You didn't do it yet, did you? Things like that. And then trusting that, I think it's a little easier because we all come from different industries. So some people feel like, oh my gosh, someone's going to steal my idea. Oh my God, but ain't nobody thinking about you. Nobody's going to think about your idea. And if they do, it can't be done the way you do it. So,
I have a great cheerleader. Kat's always like, do it. And then, but I'm just, me, I think about everybody else besides me. And I'm like, I can't, I got to do this. I got to do this.
Get a SCORE mentor. Then you can get a SCORE mentor. They're free. You sign up for an area that you want mentorship in, and it's like having a therapist for your business, and it's free.
To light a fire under you. Yeah. What's in your future? Not that you can foresee. I know you can't know everything, but like, oh, you can't look at that face. You're like, I wish I could say it, but I can't. But
ask Kat later.
From what you can speak about, I get that you can't speak on everything. What can we look forward to?
It's funny because I don't care about speaking on anything, but then the NDA come into play, and they're like, and you're like,
yeah, I hear you.
But I'm a sharer. I still am. I still believe that anything I have in my heart that I want to do, I don't care who I tell, because you know, it's for the universe.
Yeah.
So I can talk about children's publishing. I have 3 books that I'm getting ready to put together to get published.
Nice.
I'm in the studio at the BX Art Factory, 40 East 153rd Street. I'm planning to activate that space. Do more events with schools. Host a workshop, or host a series about crowdfunding.
Yeah.
Working with GoFundMe behind the scenes on certain things. They've been very supportive, not only with my campaign, but they hired me to do like certain, like talk to people who are thinking about, you know, crowdfunding.
Nice.
They need like a 30-second pitch.
Jeez.
They're like, hey, so I've learned so much, and I just want to continue to share what I've learned. And what's really dope about the crowdfunding workshop is that I'm going to charge, because people love to sign up for free shit and don't show up.
Right.
But after they receive the tools, and when they start their crowdfunding campaign, I'm going to give whatever they paid back in. I'm going to be the first donor to put back into their crowdfunding campaign. So it gives them a little incentive that they're going to get their money back, and they're going to learn something.
And you're a mom, so you're not sleeping then.
No, I am. My kids are pretty awesome. I think the universe was like, let me give her a cool batch of kids.
You just got a spot? Did I hear that right? I thought you had a built like a room or something.
Yeah, studio.
Yeah, studio. That's right.
You
said it, but you didn't mention it. Like, is that like something you could talk about?
Yeah. So Studio 2 is at the BX Arts Factory, 240 East 153rd Street. I have Chance Acevedo's book release happening on next Saturday.
And midnight.
At midnight. Oh, and midnight. I just said at midnight. I'm like, at midnight. No. and midnight. It's from 6 to 8. From 8 to 9, there's some mingling. It's $10. So I'll be doing that. I'll be doing other workshops there. I get a lot of books that are in terrible shape. Not a lot of books, because I've, you know, streamlined that, but I'm creating book art workshops and journal workshops and repurposing things out of books.
That, I want to say that book by Chance is really good. Like, especially if you hate Chance. If you hate him, you're gonna love him after you read that book, because it's open heart therapy in there. Like, he's really, it's like the origin of Chance in there. It's really like, hey, I went through a lot of shit, and I haven't read Midnight's book yet, but he's a really cool dude. I like him. So yeah, make sure you give that time and date again, so they can come check that out.
It's next Saturday. I think that's the 25th, right? The 25th, March 25th.
Are you asking me?
It's from 6 to 8. And then 8 to 9, there will be some mingling. It's at 240 East 153rd Street. It should be a really great event. I haven't seen Chance since he moved to Florida. Yes. So it'll be great to see him again. And I'm happy to be able to support, you know, this next phase.
He got really dark. I didn't recognize him when I first saw him. Yeah, I'm from New York, and I said recognize. That's right. So now we're gonna do my favorite part, which is just a quick this or that, to get to know you better, and it's just to loosen things up before we say goodbye. So I call it the no cap 10 pack. So now you're just gonna pick this or that. At first, it was a take a shot if you don't answer. But I'm not asking those questions that make you scared anymore. So, all right, you ready? SZA or Jhené Aiko?
SZA right now. There's a song called Open Arms. I put Tamara on at the end. She's shouting out.
I like Jhené. Rupi or Vanessa Chica?
Who?
Rupi.
Vanessa Chica.
Of course. Me too. I like her. I like Rupi though. Calls or texts?
Text.
Coffee or tea? I want to know this.
Coffee.
Really?
Coffee's bae.
Yeah.
Haven't you read my millions of posts?
Well, you know why? You know why I was wondering about that one? Because since you went vegan, I just feel like vegan and tea go together. So I was like, okay, I know we were all in love with that Mexican coffee spot on the corner.
Right.
But I was like, is she like a big tea person now? So I needed to know that.
No, oat milk is bae. I love oat milk. Cat knows.
Yes.
Cat knows.
Bravo reality or Netflix?
I'm gonna say Netflix.
Oh, because you don't want to admit. All right. Cat's gonna say Bravo. I'm gonna say Bravo reality for Cat. Denzel or Tay Diggs?
Denzel all day. Mount Vernon. Yep.
Okay. You said Denzel. Okay. Bare feet or slippers?
Barefoot. I'm barefoot right now.
Gym or yoga?
Yoga. I love yoga. The best sleep ever.
Yes.
After yoga.
Cry or scream?
Cry.
Nice. See, these are questions no one's ever gonna ask you.
Never.
So
because everyone knows I love coffee.
I was wondering because you weren't always vegan, right?
No, I did
right.
a
So I
fast.
think,
Then...
but when you went vegan, I thought I don't know. It just seems like all vegans, like tea goes with vegan.
No.
Tea and weed. So we're not gonna get into that because you go to a lot of schools. That's what
I don't smoke.
Oh, it's a good answer.
I do like sober. Just me and caffeine.
Good. I believe you. I believe you. I haven't smoked because I just haven't. Moving on.
Like I live with this.
So, I mean, you want to give your handles, your website, and all that, please?
Sure. Bounce Bound Books on everything. Right now, you can find our online bookstore on Bookshop. Bookshop is really dope. It supports independent bookstores.
What's Bookshop? How do they get on that? What's that link?
You're on Bookshop too.
I know, but come on, got some people.
if you're on Bookshop, you can just type in Bounce Bound Books, and then you're gonna search bookstore, and then Bookshop, I think, and then you're gonna find my store there. You can shop there. What's really dope is that it's like buying it from us, but we don't touch any of the books. It's through a third party. That's, and even if you don't choose Bounce Bound Books, we still get 10% of your purchase, and it's divided into a pool. And every 6 months, every bookstore on that platform gets a percentage.
Look at you with the hookup.
And if you're an independent author, and if you have your book on Bookshop, I would suggest that you create an author page with your books or recommendations, and put it on the bottom of your emails anytime you email someone, because all the bookstores on that platform, if someone buys a book from your Bookshop affiliates page, we get a percentage and you get a percentage too. So I think authors get 10%.
Now, how can they donate to you? Like, where would they go?
We have a GoFundMe that's active still.
On Facebook, right?
Okay, GoFundMe is
GoFundMe has their own page. I didn't know that. See, this is where
that's why you gotta take my crowdfunding
I'm
workshop.
Generation X, so like
I gotta take my crowdfunding workshop.
If I know what a modem sounds like. Welcome.
Oh,
that's how old I am. So
I'm also doing an event, a series called Authorpreneur, and it talks about the business side of being an author. And I've called in some great people from the publishing industry to help me on this, because if I tell it, people don't want to listen to me. So I gotta get some support to validate everything I'm saying. But I'm really excited for that to happen.
Are you still accepting books?
Yeah, I'm always accepting books, but I have criteria lists.
Now, how can they get books to you?
They can email me, bounceboundbooks@gmail.com, and I'll send them a Calendly link, and then they can schedule a drop off.
Because I know at one point you had so many, you were like, stop. I need to get more space first.
Yeah, but now with the book giveaway and the bus rentals, it's easier to. And I have also a partnership with another organization that sends the books that I'm not using to other places, like Africa and things like that. So
Wow, look at this. I didn't even get
Yes.
into that.
Mhm.
I'm not doing so well. I'm gonna tell you, this was so enjoyable to me because we were just catching up, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, the name of this show was created by Kat, and the first name she came up with was Catching Up with L. And I said, I don't like that. Right?
That was pretty cool. That sounds pretty
Yeah,
cool.
so it was,
'Cause
but
it's
then
what
I
we're
was like,
doing.
but then I was like, well, what if I don't know the person? And then she came up with Chopping It Up, which is
Okay.
awesome too.
I think
Anyway,
you know everyone that you've interviewed, or do you not know the future people?
I did, but in the future, you know, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll get to see, maybe I'll interview somebody who I don't know, and I really got to dig deep. But right now, we're catching up now. But one day I'd like to like interview someone. You're interviewing me right now. Hey. I see what you're doing there. I see you, Lala. But so this is your moment to say whatever you want to your people out there and your community, anything you want to say, any final thoughts, any words. You can read a page in a book if you want, whatever you want to do.
I just want to say thank you to everyone who supported me, who pushed me, because I didn't do this by myself. I don't think anyone accomplishes, goals alone. People swear they're self-made, and I wouldn't want to be self-made because it's kind of lonely, It's great to create in community, and that's what I believe in. So my community takes care of me, and I hope that I'm taking care of them in the way that.
And I want to thank you because I know you're super busy right now. I know you're making crazy moves and you probably want to just sleep right now. But I really appreciate this. I appreciate that everyone who's come out to do this with me and have fun with me. I hope you had a good time. So
Thank you.
thank you. And that's it. I hope it was a good interview. I felt like it was a good interview. Kat was on like her video wasn't on, so I couldn't see if she was doing this, like I'm talking too much. So I think I did well though. That's what she does in the open mic. She's like, yo, son. But remember, all right, well, thank you so much. Here, my boy's been dying to say hi. So let's say hi.
Oh my goodness. Hi. Oh my goodness. You're getting so big. I remember you when you were a baby, and I'm sure you hear that all the time. But I do.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lala. And remember, everybody, respect is not a birthright, it is earned. And we will see you next month with who we got next month? We got El Profe, Rick Villar. So I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lala. I love you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Love you guys. Bye.